What if I told you someone close to you is going to lie to you today? And the worst part? You probably won't even notice it. The average person gets lied to hundreds of times every single day, and most of those lies go completely unnoticed. But what if that changed? What if you could spot a lie almost instantly, not by guessing, not by luck, but by understanding how people actually behave when they lie? Because here's the truth nobody tells you. Lying isn't rare, it's everywhere. Your friends do it, your family does it. Even people you trust the most do it. Not always in a bad way, but enough to distort reality. And if you can't detect it, you're living in a version of the world that isn't real. But here's the good news. There are proven techniques used by professionals that can reveal the truth faster than you think, and today you're going to learn them. By the end of this video, you'll start noticing things most people completely miss. Let's begin. First, ask better questions. Most people make lying easy. They ask simple, predictable questions like, "Did you go out last night?" That's a gift to a liar, because all they have to do is say yes or no. But smart people flip the question. Instead of asking if something happened, they assume it did. For example, "What made you stay out so late last night?" Now the pressure changes. They're forced to explain, not just deny. And that's where liars struggle. Because creating a believable story is much harder than giving a simple answer. If this already opened your eyes, comment 1. Second, use the 5-second rule. This is where things get powerful. When you ask someone a question, don't just listen to their answer. Watch them closely for exactly 5 seconds. Because in those first 5 seconds, their brain hasn't fully built the lie yet. That's when the truth leaks out. You might notice a sudden pause, eye movement, touching their face, a change in tone. One sign means nothing, but 2 or more? That's when it gets interesting. Because their body reacts faster than their words. If you didn't know this before, comment 1. Third, establish a baseline. Before you try to detect a lie, you need to know what normal looks like. How do they usually speak? How do they sit? How do they react when they're relaxed? That's your baseline. Once you know that, any change becomes a signal. If someone normally maintains eye contact, but suddenly avoids it, that's not random. If someone usually speaks clearly, but starts hesitating, something's off. You're not guessing anymore. You're comparing. If this makes sense, comment 1. Fourth, use the double question method. This one catches people off guard. Ask about the same thing, but in 2 different ways, and space it out. For example, "You went out yesterday, right?" Then later, "What did you do yesterday?" Truth tellers stay consistent because they're remembering something real. But liars, they're managing a story, and stories break under pressure. They forget details, they contradict themselves, and that's where the truth slips out. If you see how powerful this is, comment 1. Fifth, listen to their words carefully. Liars rarely sound confident. Instead, they hide behind weak language, words like maybe, I think, probably, I guess. These words create distance. They give the speaker an escape route because they're not fully committing to what they're saying. Confident truth sounds direct. Uncertain lies sound soft. So don't just hear what they say, listen to how they say it. If you'll start paying attention to this, comment 1. Sixth, watch for sudden topic changes. This is a classic move. When someone feels pressure, they try to escape. And the easiest way? Change the subject. Out of nowhere, they might say, "Hey, did you see that video?" Or bring up something completely unrelated. That's not random, that's avoidance. When this happens, don't follow them. Bring them back, calmly. Yeah, we'll get to that. But tell me more about this first. And watch how uncomfortable they get. If you've seen this happen before, comment 1. Seventh, interrupt strategically. This one is almost unfair. When someone is telling a story, interrupt them. Ask about something earlier in the timeline. What were you doing before that? This disrupts their mental flow because telling the truth is easy. You're recalling memories. But lying, it requires construction. And when you interrupt that process, it collapses. They hesitate, they get confused, they lose track. And suddenly the story doesn't hold anymore. If you want to try this, comment 1. Finally, use the fake detail test. This is where it gets really interesting. Introduce a detail that never existed. For example, you said it was raining, right? Even if they never mentioned rain, a truthful person will correct you immediately. No, it wasn't raining. But a liar? They often agree, because they're afraid that correcting you might expose the entire story, so they go along with it, and that's when you know. If this trick surprised you, comment 1. Now you have 7 powerful ways to detect a lie. But remember this, no single sign proves anything. The power comes from patterns, multiple signals, consistent behavior combined with your intuition. If something feels off, it usually is. Start observing, start noticing, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these techniques are you going to try first? Drop a 1 in the comments if you're paying attention. And if this video opened your eyes, hit like and subscribe for more content like this. Because the more you understand people, the more control you have in every situation. See you in the next video.